USA versus WA, 4 tough rounds. Americans Dominic Scelzi and Brian Brown looking to take on the state's top crews. Sprint car action at its best. This is Night Thunder. This week, the highlights from rounds 1 and 2, qualifying, the heats, and of course, the 30-lap A-Main. Teams will be looking to add their AHG Sprint Car Series points as we pass the halfway mark. After playing his joker, Brad Maiolo jumps to the top of the standings with a good drive to third in the WA state title round. Ben Element second, with Mitch Wormel now in third. We kick off today's show with the action from round 1, the Quit Bunbury Speedway hosting a big night of 410 action.
Qualifying 4 heats and a 25-lap feature race were on the race card as the field lined up for the return of one of WA's most iconic sprint car series. Jason Kendrick during qualifying on a very heavy track, and it wasn't the time the Hit 92.9 team were expecting. 11th quickest, leaving the team with plenty of setup work to do for the heat races. Queenslander Cameron Gessner, on the other hand, the quick time man, setting a 13.330, edging out Priolo and American Dominic Scelzi. A great start for Gessner, the Heat 1 winner from Element. The Kendrick team with a big turnaround, grabbing third, and a disaster for Dom Scelzi, a mechanical failure shunting him into the fence. Heat race number 2, and a big win this time for David Priolo, getting the jump and not headed from there. The Maiolo brothers filling the next spots, Jamie ahead of Brad. A further challenge for the crews, with unseasonal weather dumping a good dose of rain on the track between Heat 2 and 3. The organisers doing a great job to get the track back into racing condition, however, a heavy race surface now guaranteed. The reverse Heat 3, a brilliant one for Mitch Wormel, getting the jump and staying in command. Keeping control after the restart and taking the heat from Inglis and Jamie Maiolo. The final heat, a good one for the Kendrick Racing team, taking the number 1 spot. The 2 Americans grabbing vital points, but a tough night for the US stars.
We're happy to be here. Just massive effort by Wormel Civil, Craig and Chantel. They did a phenomenal job of putting a great package for us to get us Americans to come over and really. USA versus WA, what it was 10 years ago. So we're just hoping to go on, put a good show for the fans where they want to come back, and if they come back, then we can come back. So it's we're looking forward to it, and we're not as good right now as we need to be, but I feel like every time we've hit the track, we've been better. So just looking forward towards the A-Main.
I think the biggest thing that we've struggled with is the DNF with the part failure there in the first heat race. That put us from, I would say, the first 2 rows of the main event to dead last. So. It's a very difficult deal. It's going to be tough to pass. It's going to be fast. So, my guys know what they're doing. My brother's doing a great job as a crew chief, and just got to go forward as much as you can. It's very disappointing to know you could have started so far up, and now you got a lot of work to do.
The traditional 4-wide salute to thank the fans for getting the feature race proceedings underway, and Cameron Gessner and Jamie Maiolo locked out the front row. David Priolo and Jason Kendrick started on the second row, while Brad Maiolo could only find himself down in 10th position, with American Dom Scelzi and Danny Porter in 11th and 12th. At the start, Jamie Maiolo was quick out of the blocks and stretching out a good lead in the first couple of laps. His good work, however, eroded on lap number 3 when Lee Redmond found the fence, bringing out the caution. At the restart, Maiolo again got the jump and set out with a clear margin for the rest of the field. He'd hold this lead until a major push from the 41 car of Gessner. Lap by lap, he got closer until grabbing the lead on lap number 7. Immediately, Maiolo was under heavy attack from Priolo in lap traffic, which hindered the 99 car. Priolo finally made it up to second. But that wasn't the finish of it. Maiolo was very wide in turn 1, allowing Kendrick to slip through to take third. Gessner now edged out a 4 or 5 car length and looked the goods. Drama for James Inglis with a significant engine fire on lap number 10. It was now time for Gessner to be under attack. Priolo setting his sights on the 41 car. He would, however, be balked by the dramatically slowing Lee Redmond. But there was more drama to come when Brad Maiolo had a big crash on the back straight, which brought on the red lights. When the lights went back to green with 9 laps to run, there was no hanging around for Cameron Gessner, immediately pushing out a gap and certainly looked like the man in charge. Priolo was still in the mood to chase, putting in some consistent laps, but struggled to make any ground up on the number 41 car. Kendrick was also not done and chasing very hard, just off the back of Priolo and looking to close in. Fifth place was the 44 car of Ben Element, who was punching out consecutive low to mid-13 second lap times. The leading US driver Brian Brown just back from Element in 6th place, his fellow American Dom Selzy never quite recovering from his early time trial dramas. That said, a very good drive and up to 8th place. There was no issues for the tall man Cameron Gessner, who was well and truly on top of the tricky conditions, his 41 car running faultlessly all night long, with the crew making all the right calls, taking the checkered flag and a very well-deserved victory. David Priolo was second and the hit 92.9 entry of Jason Kendrick was third. The 99 of Jamie Maiolo got home for 4th, Ben Element was next, and a good fight back for the first the Americans, Brian Brown taking 6th ahead of Mitch Wormel, Dom Selzy, Danny Porter, Scott Chatwin and Brad Maiolo all grabbing valuable points.
We had to chase the track quite a lot due to the trying conditions with the rain and so forth, so yeah, luckily I've got a great crew chief in Keith Giles, and he gives me a really great car more often than not, so there's really no excuses. I got great equipment supplied to me by Kawara Contractors and Jack Civil and good Inglis race engines, so yeah, it's a great package and proud to be a part of it.
Well, I'm here with USA drivers Brian Brown and Dominic Selzy. Guys, welcome to Perth. I know I've spoken to you already, Dominic, but Brian, how did you think last night went at Bunbury Speedway?
It wasn't that great for us, but as the night went on, we definitely kept progressing. So looking forward to getting here at Perth, and we've been here before, so maybe we have a little bit more of advantage than we did last night. We're not ever seeing the track, before. But guys like Dominic's been here for a couple weeks, and all the guys in WA are very tough. So our work's going to be cut out for us.
Dominic, give us a rundown of your night last night.
We actually qualified really well. We qualified 3rd, and we're running 2nd in the first heat race, and we had an issue there and caused us to DNF. So that really took us out of the running. So we had to start 14th in the main event and ended up running 8th. which in the the way it was with the weather and everything like that, it was kind of tough to get around cars. So we'll take it. It's not what we wanted, but we can move on, and we got 3 more nights, and we can definitely come out on top.
Now, you guys are obviously here looking to kick WA's butt. We're trying to make that not happen.
Yeah, that's what. Are you with us or them?
Well, I need to remain neutral.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what we're here for. We're here to put Wormel Motorsports in victory lane, and Wormel Civil has put a massive effort to get me and Dominic here, and really what they do for the sport in general. Everywhere you look around here, it's he's definitely heavily invested in the sport, a sport he loves, and I think the whole sport should be thankful there's guys like that around. So there's nothing more that we'd like as a group to put him in victory lane.
Now, Brian, a friend of yours just told me that the reason why we had to wait so long for this interview is because you were curling your hair.
Well, you can tell who's better looking. I'll let you decide.
Guys, thank you so much. Good luck tonight, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the track.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's his second season racing 410 sprint cars, moving his way up from the 360 division. James Inglis started his racing career in dirt go-karts and is a national and state title holder. But every driver's dream is to move up the ladder and conquer the next division. Can he conquer the Perth Motorplex tonight? We'll find out as we follow James Inglis as tonight's driver in focus.
It's completely different. Dirt go-karts was good for racecraft, but soon as I hopped in one of these things, everything changes. With the wing to the shockies, you don't have any of that in go-kart, so it's a huge change. So that's something we've got to learn on, and being new to sprint car racing, it's a huge part of it. And as a team, we're struggling a little bit on that side, but as time goes on, that's something we hope to get better at and adapt to changes to the track, and hopefully adapt to it quickly.
It is only your second season racing sprint cars, and they do say it's a 5-year apprenticeship. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I didn't believe him at the beginning, but coming into the second season, I think it's more than a 5-year apprenticeship. The first season we sort of jumped in big steps and got up to speed, and it's sort of the second season seems even harder, to be honest.
As ever, time trials kicked off tonight's action with 2 timed laps against the clock to sort out the Victory Valve Award for quick time. It was super close at the top of the timesheets, with Mayolo, Kendrick and David Priolo separated by just over 200ths of a second. The number 8 of Priolo the quickest with a 14.195 second lap.
It's so important just to qualify well, and you just got to set your night up early, and it's one thing I've focused on a few years back and put a lot of time and effort into getting faster at it, and it's paying dividends now. It's a little bit of a setup thing. You've got to be really comfortable with the car, and we roll this car out of the truck and we're relatively quick straight away, so that helps, you just really got to want it, I think.
Brian, just gone out for qualifying there. It looked like you had a little bit of trouble. Just explain to us what happened there.
Yeah, these cars are direct drive, so you obviously have to be pushed by another vehicle, and they're in and out. It's like having your car in driver and neutral, and I couldn't get mine. We had a problem with a bolt came loose, so I couldn't get it out of gear. So anytime I wanted to stop, I'd almost have just to kill the engine. So no harm, no foul. The guys on the Wormel Civil car are doing a phenomenal job, and 5th quick, I believe. So it's a lot better than 14th last night. So a couple more nights, and we'll maybe up towards the top of the board.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got offered by Craig Wormel at the end of last year to race a sprint car on the Wormel team, and I've been doing pretty well in the speed car over the last couple of years, and you see, I've sort of seen an opportunity for someone else to come into the team and maybe do a little bit of development work as well with young Mitch obviously I've been racing a long time, so it's worked out pretty well. I'm really having a lot of fun with the sprint car.
You've had a pretty amazing career so far. Please talk us through that.
Yeah, I've come from a motocross background, and then when I was 19, I switched to riding speedway bikes, and that's where I sort of took off riding professionally. I rode in the UK for a few seasons, and obviously rode all over Australia, and lucky enough to win 3 state titles and appear in 5 national titles. And the day I rode, you sort of had to qualify 1 or 2 in your state title to get into the Australian final. Things have changed a bit now, so you had to perform pretty well to get into those events, and I was lucky enough to do that for a long period of time.
You're racing the Chili Bowl this year, and there's some pretty big names racing as well. You must be excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's guys like Jason Johnson, and this year Donny Schatz makes his debut, so I picked a good year to go and race it, didn't I? If this isn't hard enough with Rico Abreu and Kyle Larson and all these guys that are just full-time professional racers, it's going to be great. I've raced with Rico in New Zealand last year over the Tri-Nations, and that was good fun, and he's a really nice guy. And yeah, so it'll be good to go and race against some other guys, like Tony Stewart's having a go, so there's some pretty heavy hitters in there.
Well, they might even teach you a thing or two.
I think so, yeah. I think even at my age you'll learn something, that's for sure. So.
Is racing a family sport for you guys?
Always has been, yeah. I started racing speedway bikes with my dad back in the early 1990s. My dad still comes down now. He turns 70 next year and he still loves it. We've done most of our speedway stuff together. My mum doesn't come down as much as she used to because she's been obviously part of my whole motocross and bike career. So, but my wife Lisa and my young fella now, Lucas, is turning 1 in a couple of days. He really loves it. His first words were vroom vroom, so probably going to go through it all again.
Lee, what are your goals and ambitions for the rest of the season in sprint car racing?
Sprint car racing is something I sort of wanted to finish on, so you know, I sort of plan to race another couple of seasons of it if I can, with the opportunities I've been given now. So my goal's no different than what it was when I was 19 or 20. I still want to win races. I only really get a lot of enjoyment out of winning, and we're at the start of it again. So it's only been now the last couple of race meetings I've actually been able to string some really good laps together. We've found a setup that suits me. So for me, my goals are, you know, by the end of the year, I'd like to put it on the rostrum at least once. That'll be my first goal, and then next year we'll go a bit more serious with it and get a bit better equipped and yeah, try and win some races regularly.
Lee, thank you so much for your time today, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks very much. I appreciate it.
Drama-filled heat racing action had a twist this week with the added challenge of a knockout session for the top 8, which set the first 4 rows for the all-important feature race later in the night. The pressure was already high in heat race number 1, and although the front 2 of Priolo and Maiolo checked out, the number 80 car of Inglis and Lee Redmond came together on the main straight, bringing out the yellow. The restart and another close opening lap before Maiolo took the lead and stretched the legs of the 77 car and was never headed. Heat 1 winner and maximum points for Brad Maiolo.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling pretty good. Had an accident last night in Bunbury there, but the boys worked hard today to put me a new car together, so yeah, very happy.
Looking at track conditions and with the weather we're having tonight, do you think it's going to change much for the next heat race?
Oh, it's starting to blow off a little bit more, which should see some more passing and some better racing, so hopefully that happens.
Oh, Lee, you just had the car fixed from last night at Bunbury with the power steering. And what happened? First lap in?
Yeah, I actually had a good start. I got a run on the outside, and car number 80 just come straight across in front of me and he ran over the front of the car and just tore the front end out. And, yeah, we're off to a bad start.
But it looks like another team's given you the front end.
Yeah, another front end and radius rod and stuff, and yeah, thanks to Merger Contracting, we appreciate it. Because I run 2 cars, I don't have spares for everything. We've got everything for a midget, obviously, but sprint cars, week in, week out, see how we go.
I hope you get back out there.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think I was starting on the inside and he was beside me, and I think it was just a racing incident. We sort of come together. I'm not sure if I moved up on him or not. I hope I didn't, but yeah, I think it was just happened and it was a racing incident.
Cameron Gessner and Jason Kendrick were off the front row for heat race number 2. It was a good jump by both, but Jason Kendrick got the stranglehold and set about building a big gap. The mid-track line was super quick and the Hit 929 machine took full advantage, setting a blistering 13.5 second lap in the process and taking the win.
Jason Kendrick, winner of that heat race. Congratulations. It looks like the track has completely changed since qualifying, but it looks like everyone was also taking one line.
Yeah, the track's pretty fast on the one line at the moment, so I probably changed lines slightly towards the end just to see what I could do for the next, as we're starting off the back for the next round of heat. So I just wanted to see where I could move the car to and how the car reacted when I put it there. So I think as the night goes on, it should free up a bit, and I think the feature should be pretty good.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
The second round of heat races kicked off in dramatic style for Scott Chapman, who ran out of room and ran out of luck with a big crash, leaving the Wormel Civil team with a lot of work to do before the feature race. At the restart, David Priolo was wasting no time at getting back to the number 1 spot by the end of the first lap. Controlling the heat from the front, the American Dom Selzy the only one to put any pressure in the closing laps.
David, I know you're busy working on the car for the feature race here, but congratulations, you won that heat race.
Yeah, it was very important actually because we've got the shootout tonight, and to get the highest points, it basically locks off your front row. So it's very important because it enables me to try something with the setup now that I wanted to do. And I'll still be on the front row, so excited about that. Hopefully this works and we'll get that little bit of an edge for the feature because we need it.
Well, you seem to be in all the right spots tonight, so good luck.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully a bit of luck.
Coming round that turn, and I swear I thought you had that. There was a little gap and it looked like you were going to get it, but hit the wall and it was all over Red Rover.
Yeah, it was. The gap was definitely there. I just misjudged it, and that just comes with experience. You know, I just got to get some more laps and. Time trialling all right, the car feels good. I've just got to get used to traffic and judging that distance, you know, and making sure I can get it right and not make the mistakes that I made tonight. So it's just a hard lesson learned, I guess. You know, that's just racing, that's the way it goes.
The drama continued at heat race number 4. 3 cars tangled on the main straight just seconds into the first lap. Scroop getting touched up and spinning, and nowhere to go for Maiolo and Inglis. Inglis was fine for the restart, and this time the field got a clean getaway. Element and young Mitch Wormel were first and second. Element was up to the task, clearing out for a comfortable Heat 4 win.
Just wanted to have a chat to you about what happened in that last heat race.
Yeah.
You were pirouetted into the wall.
Yeah, no, it was a bit interesting. I don't know, I just got into turn 1 and just felt like I got squeezed from underneath, like tagged by someone underneath, and just ripped my front end clean out. And yeah, just couldn't steer it, and it was just going where I wanted to go. I was a bit of a passenger, but the boys are going to fix it up, so we'll get going for the next feature race and see how we go.
Great, good luck.
Thank you.
Up next was the cutthroat top 8 knockout to sort out the first 4 rows. Ben Element came out swinging, knocking out Missouri's Brian Brown, former karting star James Inglis, Californian Dom Selzy, and then Darwin's Danny Porter. But next up was Cameron Gessner, who finally brought Element's run to an end. Gessner then matched up with Jason Kendrick, and after a good start from both, the former AHG Series champion got the win. David Priolo was the final challenger, and after a nervous start from both, Gessner would get the win and pole position for tonight's main event.
Cameron Gessner, P1 tonight, which is great news. You were there last night. Can you do it again?
Oh, definitely hope so. going to give it our best. We've got a great car speed. Yeah, it's 30 long laps, and I'm going to have plenty of guys hot on my heels. So yeah, we'll just do our best, and the outcome will be what it is.
Drivers, we will go 4 wide coming into the main straight. Thanks. 4 wide into the straight.
The great sound from our chief steward indicating the 4 wide salute as we count down, and welcome back. An amazing event here, USA versus Australia Speed Week, and Con Migro alongside me. This is an event that's very, very close to your heart.
Certainly is, Matt. I think that some 30 odd years ago we had Speedway at the now defunct Claremont Speedway, and back again after 10 years in recess, and 2 great Americans in the field.
So excited to see 2 Americans in the field. There they are going through the shot right now. Dom Selzy, who's been here for a couple of events right now. An American, Brian Brown, who's no stranger to the Speed Week concept. A pole sitter at the Knoxville Nationals a few years ago. He's had a string of second places. I'm really excited to see how he goes here tonight.
John Day's the fireworks display. Magnificent. The Kwinana salute means a lot to the fans. All around the world, the racers do salute the crowd. They thank them for being part of their night.
It's the first time we've run this in 10 years. The last time it was run, the late Jesse Hockett picked up the win. A guy, we've seen so many names come to WA over the years and turn out to be big, big stars.
They certainly have. Steve Kinser, Doug Wolfgang, just to name a couple, and Jeff Gordon, 3 great drivers that were in the field over years gone by.
Huge names in the field here tonight. Priolo and Cameron Gessner off pole position. The front row for this one, Jason Kendrick and Ben Element. Danny Porter and Dom Selzy on the next row. That's James Inglis and Brian Brown. We go back to Mitch Wormel, Trent Pigden, down the field to Jamie Landrigan, who's back in the field tonight, and Lee Redmond starting from the back of the field as they crack loose and get set for what promises to be an amazing A-main here tonight.
What a magic spectacle with the fireworks. The fans are getting a big bang for their buck tonight, and I reckon the racing is just going to be ever so spectacular.
So Cameron Gessner electing to start here perhaps on the outside. We're looking back at the field here right now. We often remark about these cars not carrying rear vision mirrors for this reason.
That's right. So here the drivers lining up. Cameron Gessner's been the top dog. He won at Bunbury last week, and he would be certainly out there to try and see if he can win tonight.
Well, Cameron Gessner won the first night of Speed Week down at Bunbury, just an hour and a half drive from the Perth Motorplex here. Kenny Goat 2 from 2. You got Jason Kendrick on the inside of row number 2, and Ben Element, who's been so strong all season long as Kendrick pulls the belts tight, getting set for the A-main here tonight. The field stacks up into turn 3, looking back at Ben Element, but Priolo is on the inside with Cameron Gessner as the green flag is out here at the Plex.
Yeah, green lights and green flags, and straight away it's David Priolo on the number 8 car, takes the lead, but Gessner's on the outside. Oh, beautiful driving the part of Gessner. He grabs the lead, he thunders down the back straight, and Kendrick jumps up into second place, being followed hard by Element.
Look at Element, had plenty of speed on the exit of turn 2, but ran out of racetrack, heading down the back straight. Here's Trent Pigden in the 83 machine down the inside into turn number 1, and Danny Porter, who had a very impressive starting position here tonight.
You know, the number 8 car of David Priolo, he lost a lot of ground at the beginning, so I don't think his car's going well enough as the yellow lights come on, and another caution.
Car on the inside, it's Ben Element. Ben Element has come to a standstill now. Was there a spin on the exit of turn number 2? A car that looked like dynamite on the way through the first couple of laps here. Bad news for him is, if it's just jumped out of gear or something, we're only speculating, of course, he has to go to the back of the field.
Yes, 1 start per car per race, or otherwise you go to the rear of the field. If you do it twice, you're OUT and out.
NT 9, 80, 97, 89, 52.
So Chief Steward just going through the start position. There is Brian Brown from Green Valley, Missouri. So happy to see this guy, one of the real likeable characters of world sprint car racing. He drove for Danny Lasowski for many years. He drove for the Casey's General Store team back in the USA, but these days a regular at the Knoxville Raceway Track Championship.
In fact, he's the nephew of Danny Lasowski. They call him the Dude, and they come from Missouri. Outstanding competitors. There's the 41 car of the man in black, tall Cameron Gessner. 92 is young Kendrick, and the number 8 car of top shelf David Priolo.
They sound lumpy, don't they, when they're not under power? But Cameron Gessner to the middle of the track. JK to the top side as out comes the green flag. And David Priolo, as close as you like to taking second position at the restart, goes side by side down the back straight.
This is when they say an ounce of luck's worth of fortune, because at one stage Priolo was way off the pace, but now he's back up to third place as one of the Americans, I think it might be young Dominic Scelzi, has gone past him to grab third place.
Yeah, two identical looking Wormel Motorsport cars defined by the 1 and the 21 on the top wings. But here's Cameron Gessner, multi-time AHG Series champion, now accelerates out of the final turn, looking to go back-to-back here tonight in USA Speed Week.
We often remark about young Cameron Gessner. He's about 6'6" in the old language, and he has to get in with a shoehorn of these race cars. Not a lot of room in the cockpit, and he does it ever so well.
What a great shot. We were just looking over the tail tank of Brian Brown. We now look at the Missouri-based driver as he's been attacked here. This is David Priolo looking back. This is why we don't have mirrors.
Absolutely, and this is fantastic action. What great camera work from our team here as Gessner comes out of turn 4, thunders down the main straight and throws it in to the top turn.
Well, you look at the tally over the years, it's 13-12 in favour of the Aussies in the 25 previous runs of USA Speed Week. There's your top 5, incidentally: Gessner, Kendrick, Scelzi, Priolo and Brown.
I'm most impressed with young Kendrick. There's the number 1 car of Dominic Scelzi, the other American, but Kendrick's doing a fabulous job at this stage, keeping his nose clean and about ready to pounce any moment.
What about this guy? The very impressive Mitch Wormel just goes around the outside and makes the pass stick. Now second position is on. Where do you look?
Right, all over the racetrack now. We find Scelzi now starting to tackle young Kendrick, but Kendrick's driving a very good race plan. Gessner's still out in front, and here he again challenges underneath, but Gessner's got the high line.
And lap traffic ahead here right now, so Kendrick shows his hand as we look from the back of Cameron Gessner, as high up towards the wall here at the Perth Motorplex as you dare to run.
Well, they're doing about 160, 170 clicks off that wall. It's 22 metres wide, the Perth Motorplex on Quinana Beach. And here we see the young Lawson starts to come into a position, but the 41 car's still doing a great job of Cam Gessner race leading with 92 in second place.
So they're glued to each other, praying for a yellow. Gessner will be praying for a lap car in between these two right now. Still early stages in this race here tonight.
Yep, so here we go again through Plus Fitness turn. Gessner still in front, and we see the yellow comes out as there's another accident back in the field. We didn't quite see what it was. We'll pick him up in the restart.
And that's Trent Pigden that's gone around. And the car's come to a stop on the inside. They ignore the Lawson on the side. That's usually Troy Lawson's mount. He's decided to sit tonight out, and Trent Pigden is having a run here. We're under yellow here at the Perth Motorplex. We're off to a break. Come back and join us for the restart soon. We're back at the Perth Motorplex. Early stages of this USA versus Australia Speed Week. It's Gessner from Kendrick. Dominic Scelzi is in third. Mitch Wormel, very impressed, in fourth position at the moment. David Priolo, Brian Brown, back to Pigden, which should go to the rear of field now after that incident we had, which brought out the yellow. If we look back at Jason Kendrick, he was not planning for the yellow, but praying for a yellow now because it's closed up the field and closed up the gap to Cameron Gessner, who'll lead us around at the restart.
I reckon this race is going to be a ripper in the finish, with the 41 car of Cameron Gessner thunders down the main straight, followed by the 92 car of Kendrick, then Dominic Scelzi, and look at young Mitch Wormel coming into the picture. Brilliant piece of driving from the young guy. He's only about 19 years of age and not long out of high school.
Unbelievable. The maturity this young fella has shown over the past 12 months is phenomenal. He led the AHG Series briefly last year, but a few crashes just hindered his progress over the year. But hey, fast forward 12 months, it's a different cat as he just goes zipping past.
Well, three Hail Marys and past the ammunition that time as they thunder into the main straight. Dominic Scelzi in the white car, the orange car of Mitch Wormel. What a great Donnybrook of a tussle that is.
Wow, he'll learn a bit too from Scelzi as he moves to the inside. Scelzi's a wake up to this. Meantime, Cameron Gessner leads us out of turn number 4 and just starting to put a margin on us. Back we go to David Priolo running back in 5th.
Matt, what I like about Cameron Gessner at the moment, this track is so good. He's having his lines look down low and he move up the high line, and he's getting drive wherever he can look for it and gets it. And that's a big thing for a racer.
cut his teeth racing in Queensland for many years. He was on the World Series trail for a long, long time too, but calls Western Australia home right now. Here's Kai Scroop looking for the good luck train to arrive as Brad Maiolo, having a quiet night, tries to stick it down the inside.
And
so
Brian
many
Brown,
battles here.
Brian Brown in the 21 car, the American driver, trying to muscle his way around this track. Not finding it to his liking at the moment, but young Dominic Scelzi, he's doing a fabulous job. The number 8 car there to the left of the screen is David Top Shelf Priolo, who's not going as well as I thought he would tonight. But there's our second place man in the number 92 car, and Jason Kendrick.
Although these points count towards the series, JK wants race wins. You can tell the track, it's not too heavy tonight. He's got plenty of tear-off still across the visor of the Hit 92.9 entry. As down they go down the main straight, your top 5 halfway home in this one at the Perth Motorplex, but still a lot to play out.
Well, the big man in black, Cameron Gessler, we said a former Queenslander, still driving beautifully on the outside of Lawson. He goes high on the racetrack, the race leader, the number 92 car still in second place. But Kendrick, I think any moment now is about to pounce because he looks pretty dangerous in second spot.
On the lap cars moving to the bottom side of the racetrack and staying right out of the battle here for the race lead as Gessler switches to the bottom now. The track slickens off. We're in the 15-second range as now Jason Kendrick, they almost bump wheels. Oh, tries to switch back. Classic Perth Motorplex right there.
Unbelievable. Redmond, the former motocross and solo champion in the 52 car. He might have bought the number 92 car that time, but I think young Kendrick's about to show his white here at the moment, driving beautifully. There's the 41 car, left of screen as he goes down the back straight into Watson's turn.
I'm sure we will see that vision later in the season for the highlights reel. Phenomenal racing between two greats of the sport at the moment. The top 5 unchanged here on lap 20 as they move right up to the top. And have a look at Dominic Scelzi now, just sniffing around in the top 3.
You know, we always say in Speedways, the last 5 laps, they're the money laps, and this way this race is panning out at the moment. I'm most impressed with young Mitchell Willman. Oh, the commentator's curse, he clipped the wall, but he's still done a fabulous job. He's able to get his car back on terra firma at the right-hand front wheels jiggered, and on, I think, the yellow lights will come, and they'll keep that race going. No, they've kept it going. The steward, good stewarding on the part of the man here at the moment. But here's now the number 92 car of Kendrick.
Wow, you can see that coming a mile away for young Mitch Wormel. He's got the car off the circuit, a tough break for the teenager. Meantime, Jason Kendrick gets go time, and it's another lap car in the mix now. It's Benny Element. Kendrick just can't take a trick at the moment in lap traffic.
No, he's having a lot of trouble, but the car's fast. He's driving well. Scelzi still to the right of screen, the number 1 car, but left of screen is our race leader, 41. The tall man, Cameron Gessler, gets out of turn number 4 and puts a claw to the 4 as he moves into Plus Fitness.
I love the way that these crew chiefs can set these cars up to run top or bottom as Kendrick just gives the wall a little nudge on the exit there of turn number 2. Time is running out now for the 2-time WA champ. Here's Brian Brown still running back in 4th position.
Lee Redmond too there, the 52, but there's number 8, a former WA champion, and David Priola, a fabulous racer. Not having his luck tonight, but a very fast race car. So the race is continuing on, the closing stage of this event, and Cameron Gessler still leads.
He's been fast in qualifying, he's been fast in the heats, but it hasn't translated into a great A-main result. As now in the closing stages of this race, Jason Kendrick is closer than ever to the back of the number 41 car. As down the inside they go on James Inglis. Another lap car in the mix for JK to contend with.
Wow, what a fantastic race and great camera work. There he is now, the 92 car right down the motorcycle track as he grabs the lead. It's a big crossover once again. The 41 car, Gessler comes back. Here comes Kendrick. Wow, what a race.
That is incredible. 2 lead changes in the space of 100 metres down the back straight. Inside the final 2 laps, but Gessler is not done, looking to go back-to-back here tonight.
Well, this will certainly go into the reel of the great highlights of this year, but the 92 car, Jason Kendrick, a drive of his life at this stage. The last lap comes up 500 metres to go, and the 92 car, Kendrick, leads the 41 car, Gessler.
So round up Jamie Landrigan for the second time, and down the back straight goes the Hit 929 entry of Jason Kendrick. He gets through treacherous turn number 3 and breaks through to chalk up a win in USA versus Australia Speed Week.
Wow, Cameron Gessler second, the American Dominic Scelzi third. In third place was Brian Brown, the American. In 4th place, I should say. 5th place was David Priolo. 6th place, Kai Scroop. 7th, Taylor Milling. In 8th place was Brad Mayola. In 9th place was Trent Peterson. In 10th place, James Inglis. And that was a great race, Matty.
Well done, drivers. Excellent race to watch.
Our Chief Steward just congratulating the entire field on the race finish. There is your confirmation on your screen right now. Kendrick, Gessner and Selzy here, the top three in USA Speed Week. You've seen them all, Con. That's seen out to be one of the best ones.
Unbelievable. That was just such a good race, and all the competitors have been congratulated. Jason Kendrick, he's arrived as one of our best drivers, not only in West Australia but in this nation today.
He pulls the infield, cools his jets. It's been a massive 2 nights of racing, another one to come up later in the week. The Americans got a bit of work to do here if they want to get a race win up, as now Jason Kendrick decides to flick it around. Let's have some fun.
Do a few burnouts in front of the crowd, and the crowd love that, and Kendrick's quite an entertainer, or a motortainer as we call him in Speedway. We call it motortainment, not entertainment, and there he is doing a burnout around, and the fans love that. Wow, what a drive from the young fella. Absolutely unbelievable. His father will be as proud as punch because his father puts a huge amount into the sport, and that's Jeff, and there's the team bashing the wing as well.
Yeah, it's a tough job to put these cars on the track, but when you get a victory, you savour every second of it. As JK, wow, he's shown a lot of emotion here. This is great to see.
He has. Quite a budding young tennis player as a young guy. He chose motorsport, thank God for us, and he's done it well. There's his dad coming up to congratulate him. They've got a great bond between father and son. They work hard together, and there's the end result. Up on the wing we go.
He is the winner as he takes the checkered flag here. The winner at the Perth Motorplex here tonight.
Jason Kendrick, congratulations. What a race.
Yeah, that was a fun race, you know. At the start there, I'd followed Gessner for a while there, and I seen the number 1 car poke underneath me in turn 1 and 2, so thought I'd start trying some different things, and that was super finesse, you know. Me and Gessner were pretty much banging the wall every lap there, so that was good fun.
I think 4 laps to go, that's when you got him, and I think the crowd was like, oh my God!
Yeah, it was, I knew once I got him, I had to try and get out of there quick. But that was a fun race.
Congratulations.
Good dog.
Look, it was incredible. It's it's just real frustrating I don't feel like I made a mistake. He just did a really good job, and I guess, you know, that's what racing's all about. It makes you more determined to come back next time, and I knew once it got to the top he'd be up there pounding it, and hope everyone enjoyed it.
It was a great race for the fans, so well done, Cam.
Yeah, thanks guys. It was fun. It's never nice to lose one so close to home, but at the end of the day we're in the entertainment business, and hopefully it was entertaining. So thank you.
Done. James, you're our driver in focus tonight. Give us a rundown of your whole night and obviously the main event for you.
Overall, it was a pretty good night. We timed reasonable, and heats were decent, and then made the top 8 shootout, which I was happy about. And then come feature time, I just struggled as a driver really, and I guess that's the more laps I get in, the more experience I'm going to get, and I don't know, sometimes it doesn't click for you in the final, and it didn't that one, and I just went backwards. But hopefully I will learn from it, and just gain experience from it and try and move forward.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being our driver in focus tonight, and we look forward to seeing you back on the track soon.
Thanks so much. Cheers.
That's it for today's show. Next week, the final 2 rounds of this massive USA versus WA Speed Week. The crews again starting at the Quitbunbury Speedway before heading back to the Motorplex here on Kwinana Beach in Perth. Another 2 tough rounds expected, more awesome sprint car action guaranteed.